Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Chaos TV's live coverage of the Corsair Vengeance Cup. I'm Metis, joined by Enzi, and we are ready for game number 3, the all-important decider between SK Gaming and CLG.eu. Enzi, are you excited?
Of course I'm excited, man. I mean, that game that we just saw was close stuff. And I'm just going to quickly say, guys, Metis and Bass are in the game. I am currently spectating along with you guys with a delay, and I actually saw someone, well, it's on the Reddit post, apparently spectator mode is being released in the next patch. So, I like it.
Ooh, awesome.
We won't have that anymore.
No, we're not going to have any of these problems anymore. That will only be a welcome thing to, obviously, our spectators alongside us as well, Enzi. But either way, we are into this game 55 seconds fresh. And again, I don't think we're going to see any early team fights kicking off here, as CLG, of course, are now on the blue team. You're going to have SK on the purple team, and both sides opting to play relatively defensive. No one's really trying anything funky as of yet.
Yeah, just standard stuff, you know, they're just going to stay for their buffs. Doesn't look like either team is going to really go for an invade. But yeah, that's all I can really say.
Oh, Jana, don't do it. Don't. Okay, she's pulled back. I think they're thinking about it. They're really having a strong think about it, but they have just heard Ezreal firing off his first ability there. The Mystic Shot did tag, and they realise that there are players in that bush. They're going to pull back. So nicely done from Ezreal. Just for a second, though, Andy, I honestly thought that Jana was going to go in first, and she would have been obliterated in a heartbeat. In the blink of an eye, she would have fell there, but not to be. And the two teams are going to pull back to their lanes. Looks like we're going to have a more kind of standard game here with Ryze occupying the mid. The solo top is going to be Jarvan, actually. I thought it was going to be Udyr at first, but it seems that they did switch over at the last second, so Udyr is going to be in the jungle. Of course, we'll leave Kevin with Jarvan. Haven't seen him play Jarvan before, I've got to be honest with you, but if it's anything like his other solo tops, he's going to be very, very strong.
Yep, not seen it before on him, but yeah, I think the lanes are just going to be normal now, or what you could say normal, either way, whatever floats your boat. But yeah, for a second then I thought they were going to go in as well, but it was clever play, you know, get Ezreal to fire that Mystic Shot into the bush just to see if anyone's there, and you know, if they did go up, they would have been probably 1 or maybe even 2 kills, so really nice stuff from Ez.
Indeed. And we'll see scouting out, because Mystic Shot doesn't cost a great deal of mana. You can kind of spam that one over and over again. And you're going to have Ezreal starting with the boots, of course. On the opposite side, Kog'Maw is going to do just the same with the health pots as well. Speaking of health pots, he's had to chug through his first there, as Ezreal was really applying the pressure. And Ezreal is such a good pick against Kog'Maw, and he can be so aggressive, he can land those skill shots. Kog'Maw is going to have to be so passive, and always have to watch his 6, make sure he doesn't get jumped upon. And of course, the beautiful thing about Ezreal on top of that is he doesn't need to take a flash. He has the Arcane Shift, which is basically a flash in amongst itself, so he can pick up the Ignite and the heal. Going to be dangerous stuff in that lane. There was an attempted gank at top there from Dedrian with Udyr, but it's not going to work out there, and Wicked actually did laugh amongst himself as the Vlad. So his action seems to have subsided, but Udyr actually hasn't been put off from that failed attempt. He's going to look around a bit longer, maybe going to try that second gank, and now realising he's wasting his time, he's going to pull back towards his own jungle.
Now looking at this lineup, Vince, I definitely think CLG are just going for that comp, you know, just build it around Kog'Maw. I mean, you got Orianna's ult in the mix, you've got Vladimir as well, you've got Maokai with the snare, the silence coming out from Soraka and the ooze already. So I think in team fights, I think, you know, the positioning Kog'Maw is going to be good. I just think their goal is just going to, you know, get Yellow Peak farmed up, and as you said, you know, with Kog'Maw, you can absolutely destroy tanks in a heartbeat. So I think this comp is very based around just that Kog'Maw pick, and I'm just going to have to see how that one pans out, because obviously they did know Ryze is one of them champions who builds very, very tanky, and they've kind of gone for double AP.
Oh, I thought for a second Ezreal was going to try his luck there onto Soraka. She did manage just to escape. Ignite was ticking down there, and in the meantime, Udyr and Kog'Maw going to, not Kog'Maw, Maokai even, we're going to come under close contact, but Maokai only just managing to recall before Udyr could get any attacks off, so he is going to be just fine and A-OK back at spawn once again. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and you've got to say, there is going to be another gank coming in here and towards mid, but already Ana being forced to run away. Very nearly getting stunned from Udyr, and with the snare on top of that from Ryze, would have been really badly hurt. Probably wouldn't have died, and she has the flash up, of course, but you know, obviously you don't want to take damage when it's completely unneeded. So back to the farming once again. Here comes Maokai for a potential return gank he's going to be trying his luck onto Rise here. Orianna doesn't have necessarily the greatest amount of mana remaining, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Maokai is going to pull back, and Rise is going to recall as well.
Yeah, you're going to go for that jungle, and you know, in that mid, them ganks are going to be so good. I mean, you got Rise's Prism, you got Udyr with the stun as well, so it's basically just a double stun, and a great ganking going to be put off from the likes of Udyr, and obviously at top lane. You have got Jarvan. When he gets his ultimate, can just kind of lock him in there, and then you've got stun on top of that if Udyr is there as well. So, you know, all around this map, it's just ganking possibilities.
Absolutely. Janna, speaking of ganking possibilities, Maokai did come towards the bottom lane there for CLG. Janna managed to escape. She's going to go back now and build up a few items. What she decided to take, she's got the regrowth pendant. Not quite enough gold there to finish off the Philosopher's Stone, which is going to be a minor disappointment. Of course, the 5 gold, 10 seconds, every 10 seconds, of course, would have been real helpful for that ward fund. She's not going to be able to finish that off as of yet. Let's have a quick look at the top lane creep score. Vladimir 34, facing off against Jarvan with 36. So very even there. The mid lane's going to have Orianna 33 against Rise's 37. Again, very close, and that is reflected in the overall scoreline, which is currently 100 gold in advantage to SK.
Yeah, and also, you know, Maokai, we actually forgot to mention, you know, we normally just have a whole debate about Maokai. Maokai is such a good jungler, obviously because of that snare as well, and then basically a Q, it's basically just a little knock up and slows the enemy as well. So Maokai, you know, he's kind of an early ganker, so he really needs to get them ganks off, but I've seen Udyr, he's been doing a very good job at counter jungling, and it's forcing Maokai to stay in the jungle for even longer before he can pull off them ganks.
Yeah, Maokai, I think, has only really attempted one gank, so to speak of, and that was at that bot lane where Janna had to go back. Apart from that, it's been fairly quiet on that front, and a complete role reversal from that last game that we actually casted on NZ, that, you know, SK did go and actually get a couple kills, I believe, right from the offset of that matchup. In fact, did they get first blood? I can't quite remember.
I can't remember either. My memory's bad.
Well, either way, they could be getting first blood. This time, if Maokai isn't careful, he's going to be coming around. That blue buff does manage to steal it, but is he going to get punished there from Udyr and also from Jarvan? Here we go, big damage being exchanged onto Maokai, but he's very tanky, and he both has Vladimir and also Orianna coming back, and it's going to be a 3-on-3 exchange here. The shield has been popped, big shockwave coming in, and Udyr could be going down there. In fact, they have elected to actually focus onto the Orianna here. That's going to be the first blood from Maokai onto Udyr. Question now is, can Vladimir manage to escape? He needs that Sanguine Pool. I don't think he's going to be able to get away from this one. Has also used the Rune Prison. Beautiful twisted advance though from Maokai, and he's also got the shield on top of him, so going to have to start pulling back. Very close, unbelievably close there for Orianna and Vladimir. Maokai is going back into the fray once again, realizing that Rise is on such low mana that he can't really do a great deal. He's managed to pop off one Rune Prison, and now Maokai is on the offense. Rise having to flash through that wall to try his best to escape, and I think it's going to be just about enough, but I'm amazed that only one kill went down there, and of course the only death was Udyr. Sad times coming in there for SK.
Yeah, that kill is going to be so vital for Snoopy right there, because, you know, he's been kind of counter-jungled, but, you know, now after that kill, he's going to be able to just gank, and try and help the lanes out as much as possible. So really nice coming out from Snoopy there to pick up that kill after the flash through the wall, I think. And, yeah, I'm pretty surprised no one else falled as well. I mean, everyone was like, even Froggen. I think Froggen was on about 200 HP and still got away, so nice stuff getting away.
Yeah, it just goes to show again that, you know, the utility that Orianna brings to the table, using the shockwave, pulling all three players next to each other, allowing the likes of the Maokai to run around the side there, and then also the shield, the protect that she puts in as well, was definitely one of the reasons why none of those CLG players did fall. Her protect is going to be giving 80 plus 3 protection and shield to whoever she does throw that one to. In the meantime, bot lane, Ezreal and Janna are still really pushing forward here, pressing on, applying that pressure nicely. Ezreal has taken the level lead here over Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw has the Berserker's Greaves and 2 Doran's Blades. Ezreal has the Phage already, and also Boots of Speed as he just walks straight into that ultimate there. The living artillery from Kog'Maw. Going to catch another one. Kog'Maw doing a nice amount of damage though. Now going to switch over to the Janna, but they're both going to pull back just fine. And actually we could potentially be having a gank at top lane here, Enzi, as Rise has actually pushed up there, waiting in the bush for Jarvan to push down. What he probably doesn't realise that Vladimir is currently recalling. Never mind, he has instead going to keep popping up those tides of blood, and it seems that Ryze has lost patience, he's lost interest, and is going to pull himself back. Ultimate coming in from Ezreal. Can he manage to pick up the kill here onto Kog'Maw? The answer is a no, and with the ooze down as well, couldn't really afford to chase after Kog'Maw for too long. So again, action is going to subside.
Yeah, great ooze as well. And obviously this is just the stage. It's just basically the same with every game, you know, farm, 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 dragon, baron, fight, 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 end game. Nothing really I can say about this right now. So yeah, it's really hard to try and, you know, to say something after, because like most of the stuff's been said already and nothing's really just blowing out at you right now because, you know, it's just laning.
It's just a slow and steady, methodical push from both teams, trying to get as many creep scores as it possibly can. And let's have a quick look around the battlefield. At bot lane, you have Kog'Maw 76 creep score to Ezreal's 90, and Ezreal's actually gone back, built up a couple of Doran's Blades. Is he going to add anything to that mix? Answer is a no, as he only has about 100 gold remaining. Let's have a quick look-see in mid. Orianna has picked up the Catalyst of the Protector, so going relatively tanky to start with. And Ryze, in turn, has picked up a Ruby Crystal and a Negatron Cloak as well. Putting down that ward in the bush, wants to make sure he has complete vision over potential ganks that will be coming in there from the jungle. And let's quickly switch towards the top lane. Vladimir 76 and Jarvan on 82. Jarvan has picked up Mercury Treads, has Doran's Blade and a Null Magic Mantle, trying his best to kind of negate as much damage as possible from that Vladimir. In turn, Vladimir has the Ninja Tabi boots, a cloth armor, and 2 amplifying tomes as well. So definitely going to be building that Will of the Ancients, of course. Beautiful item when you have a double AP build as CLG currently do. Could be a gank in mid though, and I'm just spotting Udyr moving towards that bush. Orianna needs to be careful if she gets snared here. You will definitely see Udyr coming out, but instead Udyr and Ryze being very, very patient, looking to strike. Now, here comes Udyr. Can he manage to get anything? The answer is no, as the slow goes down there from Froggen, and he will be just fine. In amongst all that though, Maokai electing to try and gank the bot lane, and that also turned out to be completely fruitless, although Soraka did eat a fair amount of damage for her troubles.
Yeah, just like you said as well, that Will of the Ancients so strong, especially when you're running double AP, and obviously if you can get an Abyssal set off as well, so you know, you can lower the magic resistance of nearby players in a team fight. So really nice stuff coming out from that Will of the Ancients. Pretty standard though, and the game will just chug along.
Indeed, that's kind of a very apt description of it. It's just chugging along nicely. No massive kind of in-your-face action. Quite a tentative game so far, which you can definitely forgive both teams for doing after that epic climactic game that we saw in game number 2, going right down to the wire. I believe it was about 45 or 50 minutes in the end, MZ. Back and forth action from one side to the other. And you're going to see Snoopay picking up the Oracle there, trying to take down as many of those wards as possible. This, of course, is one of the really great things about picking up that early Oracles. You can completely take away the vision from that dragon. And now SK don't really know what the deal is, although Maokai is starting to push down towards that bot lane, opting to pull back. Oh, and let's have a quick look at Udyr. Has he picked up an Oracle? He has actually a no. Once he decided to go for instead, has just recalled. He has the Philo Stone and the Heart of Gold, and he has just gone back, Enzi, to pick up the Oracle of his own as well.
Yeah, definitely wants an Oracle in reply, you know, can kind of even out that vision. You don't want one team having more vision than the other because it's going to give you so much more of an advantage. And of course, you know, that early Oracle's so strong, and can really perform some really good ganks just from putting them wards.
Gank in mid, Enzi is Ryze going to be under ult. The Troubling Knight's been used, and the Shockwave. Big ultimate as well from Malphite. Surely Ryze will be going down. Nice heal though from Soraka, coming to the rest of Ocelot there. In fact, it wasn't from Soraka, sorry, it was actually from Ryze himself with a summoner heal, and he will manage to survive some way, somehow. I honestly thought that Ryze was dead and buried there, so they are going to try and react in the best possible way here. Will CLG, they're going to, sorry, not CLG, SK, I'm getting completely tongue-tied and mixed up, but it's going to be Udyr pushing towards that top lane with the Oracle. There was a ward in the tri-bush dance, he was spotted, and he is just going to pull back.
Is Ocelot running heal, by the way? I can't tell. Is he running heal?
He is. He's running heal.
That's what saved him. That's what saved him.
Heal and flash. Yeah, he popped his summoner heal in the end there. I thought it was Soraka. I kind of got mixed up between the two teams, but it actually wasn't. So, yeah, Ryze taking the heal, which, you know, you wouldn't often see, but definitely well within his rights to take it, and you can see exactly why just there. It saved his life, no doubts about it.
Well, relatively a Rise, you can basically finish off someone without an Ignite anyway. Obviously, the Ignite is always good. But at the heal, I think maybe last game, there was a lot of close encounters where he could have lived, but he couldn't. So he picked up the heal, maybe thought it would be a bit better. Not completely sure though. Maybe just to even it up, you know, Soraka has a heal on the opposite side, so maybe he wants to even it up and, you know, heal himself, so he can kind of stay at the same pace as the other players.
And looks like there could potentially be a dragon here on the cards for CLG, as Wicked has just pulled it there with Vladimir. Going to have the rest of his team pushing up, but it's going to be probably a 5v5 fight kicking off. All 10 players are starting to move towards the dragon. The question is, which of these two teams is going to come out on top? CLG very nearly taking down this dragon. Ezreal has popped his ultimate. Big damage coming in there. The Jovan ultimate as well. Monsoon being used. That's going to be Kog'Maw being completely taken out of this one. Vladimir on dangerously low health as well. Shockwave coming in. Big damage once again. And Orianna's going to pick herself up a kill there onto Ezreal. Vladimir staying in the fight for so long. And Orianna's going to pick up his second kill there. Looking for a third now onto Janna, who tries to flash through the wall. Unfortunately, actually fails that one. And Orianna, with that blue buff, is surely going to take this kill down for the triple. Beautiful play from Orianna, beautiful play from SK as well, and they have just moved themselves up 3k gold in advantage to take down this mid tower on top of that. And how critical could that turn out to be?
Well, Vince, I'm not going to say one bad thing about damage from Orianna again, and that is all.
This is the thing, if the play's in the right place at the right time, if you have the right team comp, especially with Vlad,
I was just going off, you know, the TSM game. That's all I was kind of going off, you know, so...
Yeah.
Maybe it was a bit bad to do that.
You know, Orianna has like a 16-minute run of Aegis Ends, which is an incredibly nice start. Plus the fact she has a Vladimir with Will of the Ancients. So in team fight, she is going to be doing a lot of damage, especially the fact that she had Blue Bash. She could just spam. Shockwave does so much damage. Really ruins the day of the opposition. You can see right there, they also picked up the dragon in amongst all that action. So massive minute or two there coming out from CLG.
And also, you know, the Orianna picked very good as well, because obviously, you know, the ultimate does just kind of bunch them together. That's going to be really good for Wicked, you know, just to pop his ultimate up as well. And, you know, Kog'Maw can spam his ult. So, really nice pick coming out there as well. Obviously, Maokai can put his ultimate down as well to, you know, reduce a bit of the damage. So, you know, altogether, CLG with quite a strong lineup, and it's starting to show here, especially as Orianna just got 3 kills to a name. That is going to help us so much.
Oh god, especially as Orianna just went back to spawn like a boss and picked up Sorcerer's Shoes and the needlessly large rod, you know, as you do. She's currently on 168 ability power after 17, nearly 18 minutes through the game. She is going to be outputting a lot of damage, especially when you take into account when Shockwave is put over, you're going to have Maokai's Vengeful Maelstrom come down as well, and then Vladimir's Sanguine Pool, his Hemo Plague, and the Tides of Blood. That is so much raw AoE damage coming into the fray there for CLG. That is a real terror coming out for SK. In the meantime, Jarvan is going to rejoin the fight at top lane. Sorry, Andy, we're going to say something, dude.
I was just about to say, you know, we saw this last game, you know, Froggen, he got a very good lead at the start with Kennen, of course, you know, he made Rise go something like 0-3. Obviously, Rise isn't going 0-3 this game, is 0-1. But, the thing that he didn't do was capitalize on it. They waited a bit too long, you know, to get right in the midst of the team fights. And I think that's something they need to work on this game. They need to, you know, just go balls to the wall action. Now they've got that Orianna fed up. They can't afford to let Rise and Ocelot just farm up and, you know, go to the later stage of this game. Because the later it goes, it's going to be great.
A Jarvan ultimate hasn't popped into Orianna, flashing through the wall though. Cataclysm was used, and suddenly Udyr is in all kinds of troubles. Maokai's going to flash on there, use the Arcane Smash. Janna too little too late, popping that Monsoon, but Udyr was already dead and buried, so that's going to be a nice couple kills on the board. In amongst all that, Ezreal also got dropped as well, so looking really good for CLG here. Going to try and push this mid tower with the Howling Gale, prime and ready, coming down the middle. They're taking some of those creeps out, and now Jarvan is going to try his best to put some damage on, but look at that damage there from Orianna onto Jarvan, and also Janna. Rise is going to try his best to harass them back here. He is very tanky at the moment, has to be said, but he doesn't really have a lot of basically cavalry and support behind him. Here comes Maokai, twisted advance surely any second now, coming out Ocelot. Nice Howling Gale may have done the trick there. Big damage onto Janna. She's going to fall. Will Rise be able to pick up any kills? The troll pool has been popped as well. Rise is going to go down. Can they get the triple in mid? The answer is yes, as Maokai gets his double kill onto Jarvan and Rise as well. And I can't help but feel, Andy, that was both a beautiful bait there from mid in the form of Wicked with Vladimir, and a bit of an overextension as well from Ocelot. He shouldn't have pulled that far forward when that mid tower was down. That was a bit of a mistake.
This is exactly what I said they needed to do. They have that advantage this game. Like, they had the advantage last game. They just didn't capitalize on it. You know, they didn't, go balls to the wall. They're doing that right now. A pro bait, Ocelot definitely overextended. They got a little bit too confident, I have to feel. And, he did pay the price, and 2 other teammates as well. So, CLG in an absolutely supreme position here. They could even pick up Baron very shortly as well if they're that strong.
And Soraka casually rocking out 007. Agent Soraka is on the battlefield. She has not died yet, and she does have those 7 assists. And speaking of not dying, Enzi, Oriana's on 3 for 0, Maokai on 4 for 0. He's not exactly the first character that comes to mind when you think of an all-out killer, but he's currently got 4 kills, 0 deaths, 3 assists, has the Aegis of the Legion already. And how much gold does Oriana actually have? She's got 1,500 in her back pocket. She can go back soon, and in about 500 gold time or so, can pick up the Rabadon's death cap if she so chooses. Not too sure which item that she's going to go for next, but with that needlessly large rod, I would expect Rabadon's death cap to be getting built fairly soon. Either way, Jarvan is going to try his best to farm at that top lane. He currently has the Hexbringer, the Pickaxe, the Mercury Treads, and the Vampiric Scepter, with a few health pots thrown in for good measure. And this is dangerous though, Enzi, actually. Yellow Pete, in amongst all this, has just been getting free farm at bot lane. He has 173 creep score to Ezreal's 163. He has Infinity Edge. He's now going to go back, and he has 800 or so gold. So he's going to take that Cloak of Agility. He is going to be ever increasingly dangerous here. We've been speaking a lot about the likes of Oriana, been speaking a lot about the likes of Maokai, but you cannot overshadow the likes of a good Kog'Maw and a Vladimir on top of that. Very dangerous team.
This is the last thing you want. You've got an Oriana on literally 3 to 0 doing so much damage with that AP, and then you've got Kog'Maw on the side of that just getting free farm bot lane. Something you want to avoid at all costs. The thing is though, is that Ryze, he bursts champions down, so I wouldn't be surprised, if Oriana does go for maybe an hourglass after the Rabadons if it goes into the later stages of this game. For now, he's going to go with that Rabadons. He's absolutely fine. Obviously he wants that more damage output, but going into this later stages with Ryze, starts to become a lot scary. I wouldn't...
Sorry, dude, Dragon was started, and Oriana did throw out a ball. I thought for just a split second Shockwave was going to be used, but carry on. I apologise for jumping in there.
I think I was talking about just the hourglass.
Yeah,
basically.
Ryze,
yeah. Later the stages go, if they do say, okay, Ryze is getting a bit scary, all Oriana really needs to do is get that hourglass and can kind of avoid some of the initial burst from Ryze and then do the damage.
Yeah. Sure, it would be very interesting if he actually goes that route, because of course when you're against a team, you're taking a lot of damage and you want to stay in a team fight for as long as possible. Something like an hourglass is definitely useful. Banshee's Veil as well, as you'd expect, pretty much 99.9% of Ryzes to complete relatively quickly is good for that purpose too. But either way, we'll just have to wait and see. Either way, in the meantime, we are going to see CLG pushing mid very aggressively. Baron has not been attempted as of yet in this team game, so whether that's going to be the case relatively soon, not entirely sure. Kog'Maw trying a very cheeky red steal there. Will we see a Shockwave coming out again from Oriana? That's another beautiful thing about Oriana as well, Enzi. If Vladimir goes into the team fight, she can throw the Protect ball on towards Vladimir, then pop Shockwave. She can kind of like remote control it from Vladimir. So again, Oriana, such a useful mid character, and Froggen, an absolutely natural AP carry. You have to say, the guy can play pretty much any character mid and play incredibly to a high standard with that character. Here comes Jarvan, did spot himself Kog'Maw, and also Oriana. They're going to now congregate around this Baron buff. Ward has gone down, but you will see that Oracle, the pink eye, just flying over Snoopy, so that Ward is going to be instantly taken out of the equation. And now Ezreal is coming up from the side. Maokai has to be careful here. He is definitely isolated. He has been root prisoned as well. Big ultimate coming in from Ezreal. Going to have another team fight kicking off here. Thomas Captain right in the middle of that. Big shockwave as well. Udi is going to go straight down. Vladimir back onto Jarvan as well. This damage is absolutely insane from CLG. Ezreal's doing his best to try and stand toe-to-toe with the likes of the Kog'Maw, but he's going to go down, and Kog'Maw gets his double kill. Janna is the last remaining player. Not a single downed player from CLG, and 4. And Oriana's going to get another kill here, surely. Nice Howling Gale has been used, but she's going to be sprinting after that. Janna going to use the Protect as well, and the Surrender Folk comes in for SKNZ. They're not even going to try and contest this.
I'm sorry, but SK are pretty smart with that. They don't want to waste their time. I don't want to sound bad, but there's no way you're gonna get back from that. I mean, Oriana with that much feed, Rise hasn't got a kill. They got 2 kills on Jarvan. That isn't gonna do a whole lot deal. And then you get Kog'Maw in there as well with 2 or 3 more kills. Kog'Maw is a late gamer, got the kills, was about to, just wreak havoc the rest of the game. So I can understand the surrender vote, but it's a bit disappointing. That second game we saw was so close. But it happens. I mean, CLG, that game was so good with their picks. That team comp was just amazing.
I just love the Oriana Vladimir combination. Absolutely ridiculous. And you look at those scores at the end of the game. Both Oriana and Maokai, Snoopy and Froggen, identical scores, 4-0-7. Oriana had a Rabadon's Death Cap, Rod of Ages, and Sorcerer's Shoes, and the game was 25 minutes old. She was doing big damage, and I would definitely say that she'd have gone back and probably had about 2k gold at her disposal as well. So just massive farm, massive feed as well coming in from Froggen, and you have to say the best team won at the end of the day.
Indeed, both games Froggen was playing so good in that mid. Obviously the whole lane mid just got absolutely switched up there. So yeah, really nice stuff from Froggen. And someone was asking for the brackets. I did just link it in the chat for you guys.